Tired of the check engine light flashing and having no idea what's wrong? Learn how to read your car's diagnostic codes and you'll save yourself a trip to the mechanic and save some money, all in this video. First you need a scanner. Now you can get a cheap basic one from Alibaba or whatever, OBD2 scanner for about $30, maybe less. Not so good, so let's look at some better options. Some of the options include freeze frame data, and we'll get into that shortly. If you go for a mid-range pro level one like Autel or Launch, you could get guided diagnostics that will just walk you through probable causes and test procedures for each fault code. Now that can save you a lot of time and hassle, and it can save you buying parts you don't need to. I've got my own little scan tools. This one here is a King Bolin solo scan. It's absolutely fantastic. It's a little OBD dongle. Hook up to your iPhone or your Android. It's basic, but it'll read fault codes and display live data. It won't, however, code control units, but this one will. This is a Launch C-Reader Elite 2. Absolutely fantastic. This will not only code and modify settings, but it will actually write the electronic service history, and all for less than $200. So to get started, find your OBD2 port under the dash. Usually it could be near the steering wheel. Stick that in, turn the key to on. You don't need to start the engine. Once the scanner's plugged in, within seconds, you'll see what fault codes your car is storing. So let's talk about what these codes actually mean, shall we? So say you get a code like P0300. The first letter P means powertrain, the 0 is a generic code. 300, that refers to random or multiple cylinder misfires. P0300. Here are the four major categories of codes though on modern automobiles. P codes relate to the engine and transmission. Now B codes, you guessed it, are for body systems such as airbags, climate control, doors, them type of things. C codes cover chassis, things like ABS or suspension. And U codes are communication fault codes, like when control modules can't talk to each other on the CAN bus. Not the type of codes you want because they're usually tricky to solve. Now, here's something most people miss. Freeze frame data. This is a snapshot of your engine's operating conditions at the exact moment the fault occurred. You'll see things like RPM, throttle position, engine load, coolant temp and fuel trims. If your engine light comes on only after highway driving or under load, the freeze frame will confirm when it comes on, which of them it is. Or if you're really unlucky, both of them cases. It's really useful, especially for tracking repeat or intermittent faults. Now let's look at some real world examples that when you get your own scan tool, you'll basically be able to find. So P0300, random misfires which can be caused by bad spark plugs, failing ignition coils, vacuum leaks, dirty injectors, damaged, worn injectors, but it can also be due to things like low compression. So if you ruled out the basics, do a compression test or a leak down test. That'll help identify things like burnt valves, worn piston rings or head gasket issues. How about another one, P0171, favourite. System 2 lean on bank 1. This usually means you've got too much air or not enough fuel. Now common causes can include, not often, but a dirty MAF sensor, vacuum leaks, or a bad breather system, more common. If the crankcase vacuum is too high, it can actually collapse your intake gaskets and pull in unmetered air, triggering a lean code. Then there's P0420, catalyst system efficiency below threshold. This code means your catalytic converter isn't storing oxygen the way it should. Often it's worn out, but in rare cases, it could be a faulty post-cat O2 sensor or even an exhaust leak. Most importantly, check for underlying issues such as burning oil or unburnt fuel from misfires. They will quickly destroy a new catalytic converter if they're left unaddressed. Now then, U codes like U0100, you're looking at a CAN bus communication fault code there. A great tip is to check the resistance across the CAN high and the CAN low lines. You should see around 60 ohms. If you see 120 ohms, one of the two terminating resistors is missing, likely from a faulty or an unplugged control module or a broken wire. Now, let's add in the often overlooked areas, C codes and B codes. Now, if your scan tool shows a C code like C0035, left front wheel speed sensor fault, that points to an ABS DSC system issue. But don't stop at the code. Go to your scan tool's live data and check wheel speed recordings from the DSC module itself. Spin each wheel by hand or on a lift, or just go for a drive with an assistant. If 3 sensors are showing readings and then one shows 0, that's your fault. Either it's the sensor or it's the wiring. Sometimes it's the module, but very rare. That's why live data is so useful. And these cheap little tools can do that for you. Now, B codes bring us into body electronics, especially airbag and seatbelt systems, very common. Let's say you get B0103, B1000 airbag system malfunction. These systems are safety critical, so you need to approach with care. So step 1, disconnect the negative battery terminal and wait at least 10 minutes to allow any stored voltage in the system to discharge. Step 2, if you're trying to test the circuit and not the actual airbag or pre-tensioner, you can use a dummy resistor, usually 2 to 3 ohms depending on the manufacturer, and this will help you simulate an airbag being plugged in, but safely by removing it and using the resistor. This could be really useful, especially if you suspect a faulty component, but want to confirm the wiring and the control modules are okay. Plug in the dummy resistor simply in place of the squib or pre-tensioner and see if the fault clears. If it does, the component's at fault, or the little mini harness connecting, say, a driver's airbag. If the fault stays, the problem is upstream. It could be the wiring connector or the airbag control unit itself, corrosion, that type of thing. Again, some vehicles will also give you live resistance readings for these circuits. So if you have a good old scan tool like that, you might be able to see live resistance for individual components. You might see a reading like 2.3 ohms, good, or you might see one that says open circuit, bad connection or broken wire. Not all vehicles support this, but when they do, it's a huge help. So whether you're diagnosing a misfire, a catalytic converter issue, a chassis fault like a wheel sensor or a body system like an airbag, your scan tool and the data it shows are your strongest tools. Don't just read the codes, explore the live data, understand the context, read what the fault code means, and test safely and test logically, because that's your best thing. Don't just guess. There are online resources such as this one here, where you can actually read up what the fault codes actually mean and then give you a better understanding of what you're dealing with. This video will help you. Like and subscribe for more real-world car diagnostics, and please drop all your codes in the comments and I'll walk you through them. Make as many comments as you want. Subscribe and like, that'll be great, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.